All right, so it's 2 p.m. sharp. So hello, everyone, and welcome to our next session at the Space Research Center of Polish Academy of Sciences Engineering Seminary. Today's lecture will be given by Sir Ryan Kagey'a, the Vice President, Integrated Production and Technological Services at Axiom Space. He will talk a little bit about the Axiom Space Transcend Earth. So if you haven't heard our previous conversation, we're going to hear a little bit about the space station, of course, Axiom 4, I guess, and the new spacesuit. So Ryan Kagey'a serves as a Vice President of Integrated Production and Technical Services at Axiom Space, where he leads a cross-functional teams overseeing production, processing, and facility operations across the Axiom Space portfolio. With a career spanning over 20 years across NASA, the private sector, and aerospace manufacturing, he brings expertise in technical operations, logistics, and production management. Prior to joining Axiom Space, Kagey'a held leadership roles at Collins Aerospace, Hewlett-Packard, and the United Space Alliance, where he managed large-scale facility buildings, government contracts, and international manufacturing processes. A graduate of Embry-Riddle Aeronautic University in Houston, Texas, with a master's in technique management, Kagey'a has been instrumental in advising space infrastructure development. Please forgive me for my English today. I'm not feeling very well. So, but let's welcome our today's guest, Sir Ryan Kagey'a.
Very much. Appreciate the intro and thank everyone for being here today. As we mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about Axiom Space and the exciting things that have been happening here. So almost 5 years ago, NASA made a very bold decision. They decided to select a startup as the only commercial company to actually attach its privately developed modules to the International Space Station. This is a groundbreaking step in the evolution of space exploration. Fast forward 3 years, and this same company was chosen to build the next generation spacesuit, designed not only for low Earth orbit, but also for the Artemis missions to the moon, paving the way for humanity's return. But that's not all. Axiom Space was also the company behind the first all-private astronaut mission to the International Space Station, another historic milestone in space commercialization. My name is Ryan Kagey'a, and I'm excited to share with you today the journey of Axiom Space and where we've been, and even more importantly, where we are going. The future of space exploration is not just in the hands of government and traditional space agencies. It's also in the hands of innovators, pioneers, and companies like Axiom. You did a great overview of me, but just wanted to share a little bit more about myself and how I got where I am today. You did mention I graduated from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and from there I began my career at Johnson Space Center. I worked in what's called the Mission Operations Directorate within the Mechanisms and Maintenance Division. And it's there that I had the opportunity to work with both ISS and shuttle crews, help them train on how to operate and maintain the International Space Station and Space Shuttle. During that time, I worked on a number of key projects. Some of them you can actually see in the background there is the U.S. Lab and U.S. Airlock. Obviously critical components that helped build the ISS from and create a long-term presence in human space. From there, I transitioned into the world of extravehicular activity, or EVA. That's also the white spacesuits that you see down in the bottom right corner. Obviously, this played a significant role throughout my career. I had a chance to not only continue assisting with astronaut training, but we helped build and maintain the spacesuits that have been used for the Space Shuttle and ISS programs. And as the shuttle program came to an end, unfortunately, though, I decided to take a brief step away from space and brought in some of my perspectives. You already mentioned I did spend some time at Hewlett-Packard, where I learned the intricacies of manufacturing at a much different scale. I went from building 12 spacesuits a year to producing a server every 30 seconds worldwide. During that time at Hewlett-Packard, I gained a lot of valuable experience in factory layouts, operations, and global scale. Worked everywhere from, here in America to China, Mexico. And it was a great experience. But as you may have guessed, the love of space never fades. I mean, this is what I wanted to do since I was a young child, and it pulled me back in. I re-entered the space world with another aerospace company, Collins Aerospace, and in that opportunity, I had the opportunity to work on the current spacesuit, on ISS hardware, on Orion program, and a number of unmanned missions, which was just a real proud experience for me. And then a little over a year ago, I had the opportunity to join Axiom Space. This company's bold vision and for the commercialization of low Earth orbit and beyond was simply too compelling. Today, as you mentioned, I serve as the Vice President of Integrated Production and Technical Services, overseeing the entire production life cycle. So that's everything from our facilities and safety teams to the entire manufacturing, build, assembly, and test process across our portfolio. We like to say that our team gets the fun part of taking the responsible engineers' designs, building it, testing it, making sure that it meets all of our requirements and our customer requirements, and then finally we'll send it into space. Now with Axiom pioneering work in space, we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this incredible journey. At Axiom Space, our vision is very simple yet very profound. It is to transcend Earth. It's not just about reaching new heights. It's about going beyond the boundaries of what we know today, expanding humanity's reach and influence in space. Our mission is equally as ambitious: to build era-defining space infrastructure that drives exploration and fuels a vibrant space economy for the benefit of every human everywhere. We're setting the stage for a future where space is no longer the exclusive domain of government and space agencies. Instead, it's a thriving ecosystem where businesses, innovators, and entire industries can grow, collaborate, and push the boundaries of human achievement. To achieve this mission, we're focused on several key pillars. Low Earth orbit infrastructure. We are establishing and enhancing the critical infrastructure needed to support life, work, and exploration in low Earth orbit. This includes the development of private space stations, research laboratories, and habitats that will enable long-duration human presence in space, all while enabling commercial opportunities across a wide range of sectors, from scientific research to manufacturing. We're also supporting human spaceflight. We're breaking new ground in human spaceflight by enabling the first all-private astronaut missions to the ISS and providing training and flight services for individuals and companies wanting to experience space for themselves. This is an essential step in democratizing space and proving that it's not just for governments, but for people of all walks of life and industries. We also continue to support Artemis and beyond. Axiom's contribution to NASA's Artemis missions is a key part of our mission to drive human exploration beyond Earth. Our work on the next generation spacesuits and systems will ensure astronauts have the tools they need to venture to the moon and eventually Mars. We're laying that foundation for the future of lunar exploration and beyond. And finally, the space economy. By focusing on innovation, manufacturing, and resource utilization in space, we're creating conditions for a vibrant space economy. The ecosystem will support everything from space-based manufacturing and on-orbit assembly, opening up entirely new markets that will drive economic growth for decades to come. Our vision and mission go hand in hand. By transcending Earth and developing the infrastructure that drives space exploration and fuels the space economy, Axiom Space is helping to shape the future where humanity is not just a visitor in space, but we're becoming a permanent part of it. We already talked a little bit about it, but we're definitely excited to continue to push the boundaries of commercial spaceflight, and incredibly excited to announce that we're quickly approaching our 4th private mission to the International Space Station, AX4. This mission represents another leap forward in our efforts to make space accessible to more people. One of the key highlights of AX4 is the participation of Slash Vinicius, also known as Suave, to his team, who will be joining us as our mission specialist. His involvement highlights the growing diversity and global reach of our space mission. Having a team of individuals from all walks of life with different expertise and backgrounds is exactly what we need to help make the future of spaceflight a reality for everyone. AX4 will mark another milestone in Axiom's journey, as it underscores the progress we've made not only in sending private astronauts to the ISS, but also enabling commercial missions that contribute to the continued operation of the space station, as well as conducting important research and experiments that benefit life on Earth. With each of these missions, we're learning more about how to support long-duration spaceflight, how to integrate the private sector into this vital ecosystem, and how to build the systems and infrastructure that will make future space travel routine. So the AX-1 mission back in 2022 was our first pivotal step along the journey towards Axiom Station, our vision for a commercial space station that will play a key role in humanity's future in space. Axiom Space and NASA's successful collaboration on AX-1 marked a historic achievement in expanding access to low Earth orbit, or LEO. It was also, as it was, the first ever private astronaut mission to the ISS. We proved that private companies can take an active role in space exploration and help set the stage for the commercialization of LEO. But the AX-1 mission wasn't just about sending astronauts to space. It was about creating lasting value. The mission centered on research and STEAM outreach, encompassing science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. This multidisciplinary approach wasn't just about advancing our understanding of space, but also about inspiring the next generation of innovators, thinkers, and leaders across the various fields. It was a mission designed to demonstrate the possibilities of space for education and collaboration across industries. What made AX-1 truly special was a blend of scientific research and discovery. Through this mission, we were able to generate tangible results that increased the return on NASA's investment in the ISS. This laid the groundwork for emerging industries in the future LEO economy, which is increasingly becoming a vital part of the global space ecosystem. The success of AX-1 wasn't just a milestone for Axiom Space. It was the defining moment for the future of private spaceflight and commercial activities on orbit. It set the standard for future private astronaut missions, not only in terms of what's possible, but in how we can work together to make space more accessible for everyone. Here's a great picture of our AX-1 crew, and you've got Commander Mike L.A. Sitting there on the middle right, and they were obviously very successful and great mission for the team. As I already mentioned, the AX-1 mission was focused on science. They had over 25 science payload experiments and over 100 hours of research that was curated by the academic and research partners around the world. And they also engaged with students in over 30 STEAM outreach events. And here's just a little background on some of our research partners. Obviously, it takes a great team to pull off these missions, and few more fun details about the crew and their mission. They spent over 17 days on the ISS. Like already mentioned multiple times, it was the first private astronaut crew. They had 5 languages spoken between the 4 of them, and did over 26 payloads and the number of outreach events that they supported. As AX-2 was Axiom's second all private astronaut mission, which further solidified our role as a leader in commercialization of low Earth orbit. And it's also demonstrated the growing potential for private space endeavors to play a central role in space exploration. This mission also wasn't just a flight to space. It was a collaborative effort to push the boundaries of science, technology, international cooperation. This is another 4-person crew that also flew to the ISS with a very packed schedule, contributing to scientific research, conducting outreach activities, and engaging in commercial operations. Their work expanded the value of the ISS as a global resource and continued to demonstrate the promise of a flourishing LEO economy. Leading this mission was Peggy Whitson, our Director of Human Spaceflight. Peggy's a former NASA astronaut and IS commander with over 655 days in space, and her expertise and leadership helped ensure the success of this mission. The success of AX-2 not only brings us closer to the realization of Axiom Station, but also demonstrates the tremendous potential for private companies, international collaboration, and diverse crews in the future of space exploration. And again, another great picture of our AX-2 crew with Peggy there on the upper left-hand side. And we also had the first Saudi female astronaut on that mission. Again, this AX-2 science was the premise of the mission. This 4-person crew conducted more than 20 STEAM outreach events while aboard the station. They did research on human physiology on Earth and on orbit, as well as technological development. And these partnerships that we're going to go over on the next page really helped us to expand the commercial space economy and show that multiple companies really are interested in continuing to work with us in low Earth orbit. Again, a little more detail about the crew. Some of us already talked about, but it was a private and national crew. We did have the first female Saudi astronaut. They spent 8 days on the ISS, did 20 STEAM outreach events and 8 media events. Once again, had a wealth of knowledge coming from our AX2 research partners. The AX3 mission was in 2024. Obviously, this was another milestone that continued to break down our institutional and historical barriers in space. We just continue to redefine access to space for an entire region. But we helped make the first all-European commercial astronaut mission to the ISS. This mission wasn't just about Axiom Space, though. It was a bold demonstration of the international collaboration and potential for commercial space to unite nations. For AX3, 3 different countries, Italy, Turkey, and Sweden, came together alongside with ESA to send astronauts to space. This mission was groundbreaking because it helped showcase how governments and space agencies can work together with private companies and push the boundaries of space exploration. This mission also underscored how private companies like Axiom Space are facilitating the democratization of space, making it more accessible for countries and industries around the world. This mission again was led by Mike Kagey'a, our chief astronaut, so a good picture of them. And again, focusing on the science, enabling access to microgravity for nations, both new and experienced to space. We help advance scientific understanding, harnessing opportunities for industrial advancement and developing technologies and human progress. This team conducted over 30 experiments while on board the space station. A little more about this team. They got an extended time on ISS, spent over 18 days on the ISS, 519 mission hours. They flew 9.1 million miles, 346 orbits around the Earth. And as we mentioned before, they conducted multiple research activities through multiple research partners and did 28 outreach events while they were in space. Then, of course, the AX4 mission, which will be launching this spring, represents another landmark in the evolution of space exploration. This brings together crew members from Poland, India, and Hungary, and it's marking each nation's first mission to the International Space Station. This is not just a milestone for Axiom Space, but it's obviously a momentous occasion for global space exploration and the countries involved. This does underscore the growing interest and investment in human spaceflight from countries around the world, reaffirms how space is becoming more accessible to nations beyond the traditional space powers. Obviously, we're especially excited to have SWAB participate in the AX4 mission. This marks a historic moment as not only Poland's first mission to the ISS, but is also the second Polish astronaut since 1978. For a country with such a rich history of scientific and technological contributions, this mission represents a significant step forward in space exploration. Peggy Whitson will again command her second commercial spaceflight mission and will be adding to her standing record as the longest cumulative time in space by an American astronaut. And having Poland on board alongside astronauts from India and Hungary, it further reinforces the idea that space is no longer the domain of a few countries. It really is for everyone. Each nation brings its own unique strengths, perspectives, and talents, and making the AX4 mission a powerful example of what global collaboration in space can achieve. Now this is going to transition a little bit more to our space station side now. Obviously, this is the ISS. The ISS is an engineering marvel. It's been supporting research and development for the last 20 plus years, and but as everybody's aware, the ISS is quickly approaching its retirement, and so that's why Axiom Space is here. We're building the next era-defining structure, a commercial destination that will continue to empower advancement in low Earth orbit. But Axiom Space, we're not just looking at the future, we're actually trying to build it. Our vision for Axiom Station is to create the world's first commercial space station. It's going to be one that will serve as a global platform supporting customers from governments, industries, institutions, and individuals across the globe. Back in 2020, NASA selected Axiom Space as the only commercial company that will be able to attach its privately developed modules to the International Space Station. This historic decision positioned Axiom as a key partner in NASA's efforts to commercialize low Earth orbit and prepare for the retirement of the ISS by the end of the decade. But we're not just focused on the future, we're actually making it happen today. Axiom Station will begin its journey before the ISS retires. Our first module for Axiom Station, our PPTM, or Power, Payload, and Thermal module, will berth to the ISS. We'll be able to transfer critical payloads and scientific research, and then we'll detach from the ISS. Once the PPTM is in free flight, we'll dock it with our second module, the habitation module, making history with the creation of the first ever closed-loop commercial space station. This marks the beginning of a new era in human space exploration, one where private companies play a central role in shaping the future of space. Axiom Space Station will be a game changer for providing a space for a diverse range of activities. We're going to do everything from microgravity research and space-based manufacturing to commercial operations. Its presence in orbit will support everything from scientific discovery to industrial production in ways that are only possible in the unique environment of space. What excites us most about Axiom Station is its ability to expand life and work on orbit in ways that we've never seen before. This station will be owned and operated by the private sector, which means we'll be able to offer unparalleled flexibility to our customers, whether they're governments, space agencies, or private enterprises. The possibilities for research and innovation and commercial activities are endless. There's a good overview of our Axiom Station roadmap. As I mentioned, the payload, power, and thermal module will be launching first. It's scheduled to launch no earlier than 2027, and it will berth to the International Space Station. At that point, we'll be able to, as I mentioned earlier, transfer critical payloads and also give our astronauts and the NASA astronauts a chance to really test out the PPTM, make sure that we're prepared for our free flight stage. Once we've got all the payloads that NASA wants us to keep, and NASA and our government partners want us to keep, we will unberth from the ISS and become a free flyer. At that point, we'll launch our HAB1 module, which will then connect to the PPTM. This is what the HAB module is, our habitat module that provides 4 crew quarters and additional areas for research and manufacturing capabilities. After the HAB and PPTM are docked together, we will launch our airlock module. This is going to be a game changer for the station, as that's what gives us the EVA capability. At that point, we'll also have launched our own XEMU that we're going to talk to in a few minutes, our extravehicular mobility unit or spacesuit. Once we've launched the airlock, then we'll launch HAB2. HAB2 will add additional crew quarters, expand our research and manufacturing capabilities of the Axiom Station, and bring us up to a total crew of 8. And then after that, we plan on launching our RMF, the Research and Manufacturing Facility, which also includes our Earth Observatory. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the next page, but that's the windowed area you see down there at the bottom. And the Research and Manufacturing module brings state-of-the-art facilities for innovation into orbit, manufacturing, on-orbit data centers, all of our research activities. And then the expansive windowed observatory will also help connect the crews to our home below and a future above among the cosmos. So here's a mock-up of our Earth Observatory that doesn't really do justice to the size. These will be the largest windows ever flown in space. It can comfortably hold 6 people. It's just going to be an engineering marvel. And if you think about it, hanging at the bottom of our space station, pointing down at Earth, the views and the ability to do continued Earth research is just going to be amazing. We are here in Houston, Texas, and we continue to help Houston solidify its legacy as the epicenter of human spaceflight. We're proud to carry that torch forward, not only with our commercial space station, but with our work on the spacesuit for both lunar and low Earth orbit. We are We are continuing to build our space station in partnership with Thales Alenia over in Italy. They are building the pressure vessel, or the outer skin of the vehicle, but the majority of the engineering, development, manufacturing is all being done right here in Houston. This is a testament to Houston's continued role as a global leader in human spaceflight. It's where we're putting the groundwork being laid for the next generation of space infrastructure, and where Axiom Space is creating that commercial space station that's going to redefine how we live, work, and explore in space. A couple more pictures of our Houston facility right down the street from us. And the fact that the Axiom station's being assembled here in Houston speaks volumes about our city's legacy, but it also is showing the bright future that we have in the emerging space economy. The innovation, engineering expertise housed in Houston will help drive our station's success and create opportunities for future space endeavors across the globe. With Axiom Space operations and production based here, we're proud to solidify Houston's place as the beating heart of human spaceflight. As we talked, we are also building the next generation spacesuits. These are two spacesuits beaten in parallel. If you think about it, there is obviously a very tight overlap in the life support systems, but there is a very large difference in working in low Earth orbit off of a space station, and one that's actually going to be walking on the moon. So, if you think about everything from the boots that you would use for walking versus, just being able to work in space where you're mostly using, or in low Earth orbit where you're mostly using your upper body. And then there's also going to be an additional outer layer coverings that need to capture any dust and take care of all the critical components of the suit while we're acting on the lunar surface. These suits are being built from a single architecture, though. The differences in the thermal control and the life support systems is very negligible. And we are developing this capability to provide access to live and work both in microgravity as well as on and around the moon. These next generation of spacesuits are going to replace the 40-year-old suits that are currently in use on the ISS. We have multiple innovative solutions that will help provide capabilities for each astronaut to use both in LEO and on the lunar surface. And Axiom Space's suits are also built to accommodate a much wider range of crew members. We are building off the NASA's XEMU design, which goes from the 5th to 95th percentile, and this allows us to not only provide a good fit for that wider range of crew, but also is going to provide increased flexibility and be able to incorporate some of the specialized tools that have been in development over the last number of decades. This is the suit. One of the things I get a lot of questions on from folks is, why are you building a space station and a spacesuit? Are they very different? And if you really think about it, they are very, very similar. Obviously, size-wise, they aren't, but each one of our products is a individual spacecraft. The spacesuit is just a spacecraft built for one person. It's got everything to make sure that we can ensure astronauts are safely and effectively operating in a space environment, whether on the ISS or on the surface of the moon. Got some of the key components here. We've got our in-helmet radio and communications. This communication system in the helmet ensures that astronauts are never out of touch. The suit's equipped with both Wi-Fi and 4G cellular for seamless communication. There's also redundant UHF radios to provide backup in case of failures. This system guarantees that the astronauts can always communicate with each other with ground control no matter where they are in their mission. We also have the PLIS, which is the Portable Life Support System. The PLIS is the backpack that you see there, and that's really the heart of the life support for EVAs. That provides everything from, as I mentioned earlier, your heating, cooling, to your battery power, to your oxygen supply, to all the communication systems. This really provides that independent life support that'll get us over 8 hours of EVA time. It also includes multiple backup components to ensure maximum safety for the crew. we do have advanced systems to continue enhancing that EVA safety, far surpassing the previous generations of spacesuits. This really is the system that helps keep the astronauts safe and operational in the harsh environment of space. We're also doing a glove redesign. Our EVA gloves are designed to provide additional dexterity and protection for the crews. These gloves are going to allow us to use EVA tools not only during spacewalk, but the number of tools that we're developing for lunar operations, for digging through the lunar dirt, to collecting samples, to conducting experiments on the lunar surface. These gloves are obviously made to withstand the extreme temperatures in space. They have built-in heaters for warmth and can be customized for each of the astronauts' individual needs. We also have the helmet and visor. The visor is designed to protect astronauts from the harsh environment of space while enhancing visibility. If you look at the field of view, it is quite a bit greater than what you see in today's suit. It also protects from the sun's harmful UV rays. It also has anti-fog coatings to help keep the visor clear, and the helmet itself provides impact protection, includes attached lights and HD video cameras that'll help transmit real-time video to mission control, that really will offer that first-person perspective of an astronaut's EVA. And you mentioned it earlier, but we all are in development partnership with Prada. They're helping do the spacesuit cover layers, and have brought years of testing, development of materials to our grand team of experts here. And this is the spacesuit cover layer is really what helps protect against the lunar dust, and then while you're in both environments, also helps protect against the extreme temperatures that are seen on the moon and while we're in low Earth orbit. And then last is the Axiom moon boots. These are specifically built for lunar exploration. They're designed to continue withstanding the harsh conditions of the moon surfaces. Temperatures can reach as low as negative 288 degrees Celsius. So they include advanced insulation to keep the astronauts warm. And they also have special inserts to make sure that the astronauts can walk and work comfortably while on the lunar surface. And these components really work well together. They create a spacesuit that offers unprecedented protection, comfort, and performance for astronauts venturing into space. As we look forward to the future, Axiom Space is more than just a company working on space infrastructure. We really are trying to define the future of space exploration. From our pioneering missions like AX-1, 2, and 3, and our upcoming mission AX-4, to Axiom Station, which will be the first ever commercial space station, we're continuing to create opportunities for nations, industries, and individuals to be part of this exciting new era in space. Our work really doesn't stop there, though. With the development of our next generation lunar and LEO spacesuits, we're helping enable astronauts to safely explore new frontiers from the surface of the moon to low Earth orbit. Each of these innovations, whether it's our in-helmet communications, a portable life support system, or our moon boots, is to expand the human capabilities and push the boundaries of space exploration beyond anything we've seen before. At Axiom, we're proud to call Houston home. It is the historic heart of human spaceflight. With our commitment to a cutting-edge engineering, safety, and innovation, we're ensuring that the next generation of space explorers is equipped for success. Whether working on the International Space Station, Axiom Station, or venturing to the moon and beyond. But this is just the beginning. As we look ahead, we are building the infrastructure, systems, and partnerships that will enable humanity to thrive in space for generations to come. The future of space exploration is bright, and at Axiom Space, we're at the forefront of this incredible journey. Together, we will transcend Earth and create a foundation for a vibrant, sustainable, and commercialized space economy. The possibilities are limitless, and we're just getting started. Thanks for being a part of this incredible journey with us. Well, Alina, I don't know if you have any questions.
I hope so. Thank you very much for that insight. So now we're gonna skip to the part with the questions. Are there any questions from the floor? It looks at that Today isn't very good. All right, so perhaps someone in the chat. Do we have anyone here? I have problems with my computer today. I have a few questions, in fact, to be honest.
Okay.
First thing, I would like to know a little bit more about the space station, because as we all know, the International Space Station will get to be drawn in next few years. Are you sure that before we're gonna say goodbye to the ISS, we're gonna get the Axiom Space Station?
We are, and that's if you've followed Axiom Space at all over the last few months, we've announced a reconfiguration of our space station, and that was directly in to support the ISS deorbit activities. Originally, we were going to have the 4 and 5 module station be built right off of the ISS, and then become a free flyer from there. With this new redesign of our station mission, that's why we are going to launch PPTM first, and that will be the only module that actually bursts to the ISS. And so that did a couple of things when NASA started looking at the what they were going to need to actually deorbit the space station. They needed that same front port that we were going to be using for our station. And so by moving us to using PPTM only, we're going to be able to berth at multiple locations on the station, which is going to save NASA millions and millions of dollars in reconfiguration, and then also make sure that they stay with their plan. And so that also supports us. We do have to get one module on orbit before 2030, and as I mentioned earlier, we're well on track to get that launched by 2027, which gives us plenty of time to make sure we're there, get the science off, and still become a free flyer long before they undock before they deorbit the ISS.
Okay, I hope so. We have a few more questions. First one was Witold Janik. Witold, would you like to?
Okay. I have two questions. The first one is, well, it seems like we will have in 30s two space stations. We will have an Axiom Space Station, and we will have a gateway. And the thing is, are you considered cooperation with, for example, NASA to prepare better interoperability with between Gateway and Axiom? That's the first question. If let's say I will combine another one with this, is there any consideration according to flights between Gateway and Axiom? And the second thing is related to the idea that I have for a mission, but is it possible to adapt the lunar spacesuit to contain in order to be used with humanoid robot like Tesla? That's all. Thanks.
Okay. So we don't have obviously, I mean, NASA is one of our strong partners, but we don't have direct contact with the Gateway station. It is more focused on the lunar side of the house, where we're really building ourselves to be that next generation of low Earth orbit for the current Axiom station. There is, as far as I know, I haven't heard of or been in any discussions that talk about actually sharing or flying back and forth between the two. Similar with the humanoid robots answer. That's definitely an interesting thought. It's not one that I've or that I've been a part of any of those type of conversations, though.
Maybe if you will be interested, I send you already the invitation on LinkedIn. I can explain the details about this idea, so we can talk later. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're always open to new ideas here at Axiom. I mean, that's one of the fun things of working here at a space company like this is that's what our engineers do every day. They take new ideas, they try to figure them out, and then they give them to my team, and we get the fun of going and trying to break them. So it's always a great partnership. So I'm always looking for new ideas.
There's always a need for a next step. Thank you.
There it is.
All right, thank you so much. So we have a few more questions. Just before Agnieszka pokaże, we have one question here on chat. So it's from Krzyszka. What is the expected lifespan of your space station?
So our space station is going to be interesting, a little different from what you've seen with the ISS. Each of our modules, we have an expected lifespan of a minimum of 15 years. But with our modular design, we plan to be able to replace individual modules and not have to take the entire space station down, kind of like what they're doing with the ISS. Each of our modules will have its own propulsion systems on it. So, you know, when our HAB module starts getting a little older and needs to come down, we can actually just detach the HAB module. Its propulsion system can deorbit it by itself, and then we can launch another habitation module up in its place, and be able to not have to take the like I mentioned, the entire station down at once.
Very interesting, in fact. Good idea. Well, now Agnieszka Pukasz, would you like to tell your question? Agnieszka?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay, thank you. So, would you consider a space robots such as drones or manipulator arms as a part of ecosystem? If so, are you considering using them during the construction or maintenance of the station by itself?
We have done we've got actually quite a large robotics team here at Axiom that is looking at different robotic activities. We will be launching the AX arm as part of our habitation module. So our second module that we launch will have our own arm on it that'll help us to build the space station. We are also looking at integrating a lot of the artificial intelligence and some of the new generation of systems that are coming out into our station. So there is going to be a lot more capability. Haven't gotten real into the details of kind of some of the drone activities, but definitely looking for on-orbit manufacturing and some of our research activities. You know, how do we make sure that we make that as efficient as possible and try to take the humans out of the loop when we can.
Speaking of which, as I'm just starting to do some research in this area, I may try to explore, or may I ask for some materials that I can use to find the better research problem as a part of my PhD?
Yeah, I think I'll need some help getting your name, and maybe if we could get, I know we've got some of the other Axiom team on here that, that could probably help us answer that a little better on what research activities that we're supporting and what we can actually send out.
Okay, I will put down my email address for you, Agnieszka. Just email me, and I will transfer your questions to Axiom. Okay. Okay, you can read it on chat. And okay, so we have.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We have a next question from Krzysztof Owczarek. Are there any plans in Axiom to have an engineering center in Europe? Oh yeah, it will be interesting. Do the engineering jobs in Axiom require US citizenships because of the NASA and US government contracts? Regarding the suit, SpaceX being so active in NASA contract space, does not want to share suits with NASA to replace old suits on ISS, or any Axiom suits, just different purpose suits. And to be honest, I really don't understand the last part, but the first one about engineering is very interesting. Are you thinking about making an engineering center here in Europe also?
Again, that's one that I haven't been in discussions on. We do, as far as an actual Axiom engineering center in Europe, we do have partnerships across the world. We have partnerships from South Korea and Asia all the way over to Europe. We did talk about our modules are currently being built by Thales Alenia in Italy. we have, multiple partners around the world that are helping us support our stations. So again, haven't had a detailed discussion about, an actual Axiom, we do have Axiom now, we do have Axiom employees also around the world. We have folks that are, working with the government. So we definitely do bring in, a worldwide, group of employees, but yeah, as far as having an engineering center, haven't really gotten that far yet. Got to launch our PPTM first, then we'll expand.
Of course, but is the U.S. Citizenship involved in this, or are you looking for engineers all over the world? But because most of our engineers cannot work for NASA. Because we're just not Americans. So is it exactly the same with Axiom Space, or isn't it?
It's not exactly the same, but pretty close. We do have some of the same U.S. laws that apply to NASA and SpaceX. We are very careful with some of the regulations as far as rockets and some of the engineering side. It is. Again, now we do have partnerships, and we work hand in hand with Prada. So there are facets of it that we do continue to expand outside of the U.S., but we also are very careful to make sure we follow all the applicable regulations of the countries we work in.
Of course. All right. Any more questions? Perhaps something from the floor. Okay.
Question from us. Would you explain the hardware component of that the AX4 mission that the Polish astronaut is going to be flying on? What hardware are you supplying other than training, mission plans, suits, and things like that?
Oh, yeah. We really, as far as the PAM missions goes, we supply everything that the astronauts need. We also, so you mentioned their suits. We work with all the industry partners. We help pull that research together. We work very closely with NASA on what the crew's timelines are going to be while they're on orbit. We also do all of the negotiations with the launch provider. So in this case, it's SpaceX. So we've taken care of all that for the astronauts. We have our own trainers that work closely with the NASA trainers and the SpaceX trainers to make sure that the crews understand their roles and responsibilities, and how to not only be safe in space, but how to be effective and work in space. So yeah, that's really what Axiom's here for, and our mission services team, make sure that they have the appropriate and training across their time with us and with the customer.
Tomku?
Well, thanks very much, Ryan. It was absolutely thrilling and interesting. We would be very happy to see the launch taking place. When is the date? What's the date actually?
For the PAM mission?
Yeah.
It's the end of May right now. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual date in front of me, but it's currently no earlier than end of May. Sometime we can get that date out to everybody.
Very good. We'll be looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks very, very much for a very interesting lecture. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Lovely. All right. So see you in 2 weeks. Yes. Are we having a next seminar in 2 weeks? Tomku?
We'll be having one on April 29, given by Professor Marika Trimpalo on the radiation protection of electronics component.
All right. So thank you all very much, and see you at the 29th of April. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.